Good evening, everybody. Another episode, weekly episode of Sunday Night Live. We've had a couple of comments already. 5 or 6 minutes before we've even run live. So let me just put them up to you. Hi, Mike. Hope you're well, sir. Hope you've had a good weekend. John Clayton, metal detecting in Devon, has also joined us. We've only got a couple of people watching from Facebook and a couple of people watching from YouTube at the moment, but I'm sure more will join as we get up and running. We've got a couple more people jumped on now. Melanie coughing in the background. Melanie said hello to everybody. She's not going to come on tonight on the live stream. She's feeling a little bit under the weather. So, there you go. Nothing's not going on. And we've got the ever-present Dark Knight Detectorist. There he is. How do to you too, sir. Hope you are well. We're jumping up to double figures now, as people are realising we're actually on live Sunday night. Some nice topics to discuss when we get more people on board. Michael's come back on. Hi, Graham and Melanie. Wonderful to see you, Michael, as always. And we've got James Spark. Hey, everyone. Hi, James. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a good weekend, and I hope the weather has. Been kind to you all. I know quite a lot of this country's had rain, hasn't it? Storms and torrential rain in the South Midlands and other areas and the East Coast, but we've been absolutely covered pretty much in wall-to-wall sunshine, apart from of an evening when it goes cold. And I've been fishing for the last 2 evenings, and it's been absolutely Baltic with a north wind. There you go. Actually, no, Friday night was a northerly wind, which was freezing, and then last night it turned completely around to a southerly wind, which was equally as cold. So there you go. A little bit of information for you. Nick, metal detecting. Hi, first time watching. Welcome, Nick. Nice to have you on here, sir. JB173. Hello, Mel again. Oh, sorry, the nice one running the show behind the camera then. It's Jason. No, JB. No, Mel. JB173 is J. Oh, no, that's. Is it J from our group?
Yeah, that's J.
It is. J Brown. Welcome, Jay. How are you? Been lovely in Yorkshire. Yeah, no, I can imagine. I think the north, actually. I think the north has had better weather than the south, which is not often. But I think in Scotland, northeast Scotland, I think we had a bit of rain up there as well. So we're up to 14 people watching, which is not too bad. Double figures from YouTube, and a few from the Unearthed Facebook group. We're jumping up all the time. We're up to, I've just jumped up 5, so to sort of 20 now. If you can give us some likes, folks, on the Facebook and on the YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up if you can. That would be very kind. Evening, Graham. Evening, everyone. That's History Unearthed is Darren. Hi, Darren. Nice to see you, sir. And Simon Austell. Hello, Graham. Hello, Simon. Hope you're well. And we've got a Facebook user just saying hi, Graham. I'm not sure who that is. Sheila Hutton.
Yes.
Ah, very nice to see Sheila on. I hope you've been well. I hope everything's been okay, Sheila. I hope you're recovering nicely. I hope you don't mind me saying that, but you're a wonderful lady. Eddie Bethway, evening. Hi, Eddie. Hope you're well. And we've got quite a lot of different people coming in now, actually. We're up to 18 people. Hi, Graham. Hi, John. Hope you're well, my friend. Oh, we've got loads of comments coming in. So just bear with me, folks. If you have commented, I will catch up, because I've got about 20 comments just come up all at the same time. James has just come back with, I've been trolled by a certain archaeologist who lives in Poland. Hope we can discuss this topic later. No, do you know what, James? It's the Sunday Night Live show is all about discussing, current topics, and the gentleman in question has been pretty active over the last few weeks, actually. And it might be, well, we'll get the numbers up a little bit, but we'll bring it back. We'll bring the topic back, because he's a bit. The problem is with him. There's so many people called him out, James. And invited him. And, I've invited him out detecting. If he wants to come out detecting, he's more than welcome to come and actually see out. See what we actually do out in the field, rather than hoik, as he calls it, brooches and other artifacts from the ground without any care or due diligence. But it's nothing like that. He needs to come out detecting. Give him a detector, put him a pair of wellies on, or a pair of boots and a jacket and a fines pouch and a probe, and let him come out from 8 till 5, trailing up and down these ploughed fields, saving coins and artifacts from destruction. And then I think he'll change his view. But the chances of him ever coming out on a dig or taking up an invite is pretty remote. But he's very, very tunnel visioned with his views on detectorists. So anyway, there you go. So we've got the Suffolk. I'm just going to catch up on some comments that have been going on. So hi, I'm just looking at Melanie in the background because she's waving me down. No, she's not waving me down. She was waving at something else. She was waving at the dog. Evening, Mel. Hello. Evening, Graham. Hello, Mel from the Suffolk Hunter. And I think, hi, John Clayton from the Dark Knight Detectorist. Now, there is a Facebook user. I'm doing grand, thank you. Hi, Mel. I think that's Sheila, yeah. Hi, Sheila. I'm not sure if you've been detecting. Well, I know you haven't been detecting. You've got a lot on your plate, Sheila, but I hope you do get out detecting again in the near future. Doodle's gone digging. Hey, all. I love your profile picture. It looks to me to be some sort of Grim Reaper type creature. So there you go. Right. Let me see if I can just get back up to some of these comments. There's just so many people saying hi. So hi, everybody. If I've missed anybody, I do apologize. I probably, like last week, I missed a few. Hi, Jason. Enjoying the wife's birthday in our 40th wedding anniversary. Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. So we've got people coming on, and we've got Anglo-Celtic metal detecting. Barford is just a troll with no knowledge. He absolutely is. You're right. He's a pain. He can be a pain. I mean, the thing is with Barford is this: if you bite and you take it too seriously, then he wins. And I think the best way to deal with him is this: if he's got a problem with any single detectorist, me, you, could be anybody, tell him to give us a call on the mobile. Now, if he hasn't got your mobile number, then he doesn't know you well enough, right? He doesn't know you well enough if he hasn't got your mobile number to actually have a problem with you. So, he's a strange guy, and he hasn't got a great many followers. So, that's one good thing. James, I was lucky enough to be one of the finders of the Rydal Ritual Bronzes, and we did everything right in the eyes of the law. And the fines liaison officer, and he's just making up his own stories about what we did. Yeah, it's disappointing when you do everything by the book, James. I'm just popping up over the comment there. So actually, mate, if I could bury my head, people might enjoy it a bit better. But we're up to 34 people watching. How did you get on, Kev? I think Kev was out detecting today. I hope he takes you up on the offer. Remember you saying a few months ago, no better man to go out with than say how. The thing is, he's been trolling me actually quite exclusively for about 6 months. We got an opportunity to be on ITV as a detecting show. We're going to take it. I'm not going to say no to it. And he trolled me. And then, I got the opportunity to write a book on detecting, which I've done nearly finished. It's going to be published in August, a couple of months. And he trolled me about that in our local Evening Mail. And then he trolled me about something else, about me having to sell a particular coin because the landowner wanted half. And I couldn't afford to pay him, and he couldn't afford to buy it off me either. So it was a 50-50 agreement. And he trolled me for that. I think he's just a pain in the ass, basically. David Dickinson's on. Good to see you, David. Lovely man. Club Dig today. 8 hammered and a fabulous pawsey ring. God's providence is mine inheritance. As written on a house in Chester. The only house to escape the Black Death. Sassy Searchers filming for Channel 4 Green Waste Presents. Yeah, good old Green Waste. You can actually ring a hotline number for Green Waste, David. You probably know that. And I don't know if anyone's ever done it because it's a difficult situation to be in. But I've done it. It's Environment Agency. We've got Marion Wade coming in. Hi, Graham and Mel. Hi, Marion. Hope you are well. And we've got the Night Rider himself, Stephen Knight, a.k.a. Bin Laden. Hell of a nice fella. We've got, just bear with me a sec. We've got Brian Wade coming in. Any news on the rally? Not yet, Brian. We're going to be releasing some information fairly soon. We've got to do it right because I'm very conscious of these organised digs and these rallies and these weekenders. If you don't do everything absolutely by the book, there'll be somebody to criticise. So we're going to have to make sure all angles are covered from, detecting, which is what it's all about, and advice and guidance for people, and the right sort of refreshments and the right sort of entertainment and the right sort of fields and the right sort of parking and the right sort of absolutely everything and marshalling. And even if the COVID's around at that time, which I'm damn sure it probably pop its head up, you can guarantee it. We've got to make sure we've got all the health and safety regulations and COVID restrictions in place. So it's not an easy job. I mean, if you've ever organised a rally, even our day rallies are pretty difficult to organise at times. Well, they are to organise. Hello, Unearthed community. Hope you are all well. That's Sis11 Detecting World Review. And Kev has given the thumbs up. Hey, Sis11, which is nice of Kev. Good evening to all Facebook user. Melanie might better tell me who that is because I can't see. But good to... It could be Don Shepherd. Yeah, it could be Don Shepherd. David Dickinson, I've informed Bill Hargreaves. That's a good shout. Bill Hargreaves does head up some valuable work on green waste.
Marion Wade, hi, Graham and Mel.
Walter it was. Yeah, Walter Perry, isn't it? Yeah. Nice fella. I mean, nice. Everyone's nice people, aren't they? Good. Yeah. So let me just go back to that. I have informed Bill Hargreaves. Bill Hargreaves is the Northwest link, if that's the right word to use, on green waste issues. So he liaises directly with the Environment Agency, which isn't an easy job to do. It's a difficult job because sometimes the Environment Agency really don't want to know about green waste issues. So we've got farms in Cumbria and the Northwest that have got tons and tons, literally tons. I'm not talking like bucketfuls. I'm talking literally tons. If you scraped it all together and weighed it, it would be literally tons of aluminium scrap spread over fields that are going to be completely undetectable forever. And that can't be good if that sort of stuff's growing in the crops of the food that we eat, of course. But they do allow a small amount to slip under the radar. Now, my view on it is, don't let, am I biased as a detectorist? Well, they could possibly say that, but I don't think they should allow any metallic waste, toxic metallic waste in some cases, to be allowed to be spread onto farmers' fields. I just don't think it's right. But you know what? We're just the minions, aren't we? So, what do we know? We're the only ones that go out there and detect it. I mean, if it wasn't detectorists, if it wasn't for detectorists, green waste would probably disappear under the radar and just continue. But we've got fields close to us that are that bad in green waste. When they plough and then they roll the fields, you can see it glinting in the sunshine. So you don't actually need a detector to see it. So we've got Robert Hunter Collinson's come on. Evening to you, Robert. I hope you're well. And we've got David, 4+ tons in every load. There you go, 4+ tons in every load. And you can imagine how many loads that they spread over a decent set of acreage. And I think it's pretty disgusting that this is still allowed. It's legalized tipping, or whatever we want to call it. It's just another opportunity for people to dump on farmers' fields instead of landfill. Can you imagine a situation, actually? Can you imagine a situation, right? Can you imagine a situation where somebody calls in a team of detectorists to clean up the fields from green waste? And how many people would do it? How many people would do it? Green waste can cause damage to farm animals too. Can it not, Graham? It can. Absolutely can. I mean, there's I remember detecting on a field where the farmer was quite sort of not ignorant to the fact, but he just didn't know he had green waste on his fields. And we were digging on his fields. And of course, when you get rather excited when you go on a field for the first time and you think there's going to be high hopes of you finding something good. However, our hopes were dashed within 10 minutes because we started finding green waste. And as we were digging the green waste out, which a lot of the times were in the sod, so it was in the first couple of inches, the sharp parts of the green waste, the metallic aluminium crushed up pieces, if we didn't have gloves on, would have been cutting our skin. So I can only imagine cattle and sheep. Actually, no, don't talk about sheep. We don't want to talk about sheep today because we've had a hell of a day with our sheep. So we're not even going to talk about sheep. We'll talk about cattle because they can't be as hard as sheep to look after. I can only imagine cattle getting the hooves caught and the feet caught and cut with the amount of green waste on some of these farms. And the thing is with green waste as well. We're on the subject of green waste. It's now been found on fields from the top end of Scotland to the lower reaches of the south, including Isle of Wight and east to west. Now, is that not a problem? Is that not a problem? One of the greatest threats to the hobby is green waste. How long would it take, Graham? This is the problem, Jeff. You could detect a pasture field for a very, very long time, depending on how much green waste has gone on there. And no matter how many detectorists you have, trying in a line, can you imagine how long it would take to get rid of it? We've got farms near us, and I can't name names for obvious reasons, but they're absolutely strewn with green waste. And it's ruined some potentially historic fields forever. Nobody's going to be able to detect on it. Ever. Detector Kev, my farmers were impressed the amount of alloy. I think you mean aluminium. Yeah, sorry about that. It's my pronunciation. And iron I took away. Carrie the farmer told me her horse had a big rusty square nail in her hoof, which is nasty. Which is nasty, Kev. We've got David coming back in. Farmers can now be fined if they allow the land to be contaminated. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have land and the owners rent it out and they rent the ploughs in things like AA and AA, AAA batteries undetectable. The problem is batteries leak. The acid from batteries leak into the ground as well. That can't be good. We found syringes. We've found door latches. We've found handles. We've found some really... I tell you what we did find once. One of our farm permissions in Lincolnshire, which has been, we've had that permission for many, many years. All of a sudden, turned up green waste on one of the fields. Now, if you've detected as many fields as we have over the years, you get used to sort of particular fields and what you're going to find on particular fields. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, one year, green waste turned up, and it was the contractor that brought it in and spread it on. Now, the farmer didn't like it, and the contractor never bring it on again, blah, blah, blah. But the damage was already done. But it was only a year. It was only one season of green waste that came on. So we were able to get as much as we possibly could, which filled our fines pouches up, out of the ground. But here's the thing. We found a coin mixed in with it, and it was an unusual shape. And when I first looked at it, because it had been through a recycling process, this coin, it actually looked like an ancient token or an old token. And it was browned and it was aged and it was worn, it was scoured, and it was a really strange coin. And it puzzled me and my detecting partner Gas for a number of minutes, if that makes sense. And in the end, we worked out what it was. It was a 20p piece, a modern 20p piece that had gone through the green waste recycling process. Somebody must have dropped it in by mistake, and it got chewed out with all the rest of the green waste, and it made it look literally unrecognizable. It was only when we got it under a spyglass we could actually see a 2 and a 0 for the 20p. There you go. We've got lots coming up now, folks, and I'll try my best to get through them. Hi, Grim, how's things? Went on a local rally yesterday. Awful. No one was finding anything. Definitely been done before. Just a money-making rip-off for us poor detectorists. Now then, here's the thing. Here is the thing for detectorists, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get Sunday Night Live up and running and get a little bit of debate going on. We're going to be careful in so much as, there's some good people out there that run really good organised rallies. And they do, and they've done it for years. They're professional at what they do, and it gives people the opportunity to detect where they might not get the chances to detect on some of these places anyway. So I've always sat on the fence in so much as support the people that do a good job and dismiss and pretty much ignore the ones that don't. So I've been on some really good rallies where I found some nice things. In fact, my first Gold Hammered came up on a rally, and I'm not embarrassed to say that, on a Sunday afternoon in June, actually, in all the heat, a bit like today. And I was happy, of course. And it was a fantastic achievement, and it was a fantastic day out for us all. However, on the opposite side of the coin, I have been on some rallies where the organizer has said, hey, it's virgin land, it's never been detected on before, and you're going to find this, this, and this because it's near this, this, and this monument. And you get onto the rally site, and A, quite quickly you find out that the field's been detected on, and B, it's got knee-high grass of the wet variety. So the wetland grasses start kicking up all over the place. And let me just get that off the screen. I can't get it off the screen, so it's a permanent mark. And you just think you've been conned. And especially when they start charging things like 30 quid for a day's detecting or whatever it could be. Now, bear with me, everybody, on this particular subject, because sometimes the landowner will say to the detectorist or the organizer of the rally, well, no, we've never had anybody on before, but they have. So you've got to be really careful. What we do, and it's, that's just us, is I always detect the fields first. If I organize a rally, or an organized dig as I call them, the first thing I do is bring a little team of detectorists along, and we scour for green waste, because the worst thing you can do is put a dig on for people that may travel 2.5 hours to get there or more, and they find out there's green waste strewn all over, and we haven't done our research properly, and we get it in the neck. So we don't want to fall into that trap, so we detect it. And usually you can get a feel for a farm if it's been detected before, because you might do 15 minutes on one field. You don't want to be detecting it because you don't want to ruin it for the masses, for the people. But if you start finding a couple of copper coins and buttons and bits of lead, it's never been detected on before. So it's a good test there. But there is a growing element of detecting rally organisers that will just say, yeah, we're going on there today, and they don't do the homework, and they go on, and people get disappointed. It's not good land. It's not fertile land. It's rough land. And you're not going to find a great deal unless there's been a traveller coming across in the past. Luckily or unluckily for him, he's dropped something. Somebody finds it. They've had a great day, but not a great deal else comes off. Poor land. Don't detect on poor land. Poor soil. There's a lot of poor soil out there, and the northwest is pretty bad for it as well, I have to say. Bit of a rant on there, folks. I do apologise, but we've got to get these topics out. I think it's something we need to take into mind. Rallies and group digs I see as an opportunity to detect somewhere different to my normal permission. Absolutely. So if it's done right and it's in a good area and it's professional doodles, and I don't know your name, so I do apologise. Yeah, I don't mind that. What I mind is when people lie, and I can't stand it. I cannot stand them saying, "Oh, well, we're going." Listen, we've visited a farm 5 times with our group. My group of friends, and that's not me saying we're going to go back 5 times. That's the demand of the people saying we've got to get back on there because we found that much in the past. So that's good, but I never say it's never been detected on. And I can't stand that. I can't, I just can't stand that side of it. So we've got David coming in now. David, I've not spoken to you for a while. Hi, Grey Melanie, nice to be here. I've moved house, so I've been ultra busy. Hope you are doing great, and I hope you are doing great yourself, sir. My rally today, even though it was not productive, was a good way to show the farmers, neighbours what we do. They were impressed. More rallies to come into the veterans, I reckon. Well, that's good, Kev. You've enjoyed it. You've enjoyed you've enjoyed the day, and it's been a good, positive result. We've got Liddy coming on. Hi, Liddy. My own opinion of these large money-making digs, the bad ones run by non-detectorists just to line their pockets with cash. These rallies, I think, will be the death of the hobby, and we've got to be vigilant. You're right, what you say. And, you know what? I've got to be careful what I say. But listen to this. I did notice 2 weeks ago, last week, that there's a rally being organised for August by a group. And it's supposed to be virgin land. It's a weekend, blah, blah, blah. And I know for a fact we've been on that particular farm and they're saying it's a virgin farm. Difficult, isn't it? Now, is it the landowner that's told the group organisers who are relatively new to the job that there's nobody been on, but there's been clubs on, there's been single and private detectorists on there, if that's the right word to use, and then they're running it and saying it's going to be a virgin rally or a virgin land. Not good. Not good, is it? I'd be disappointed paying 50 quid for a weekend, not finding. Farmers can do a lot of damage if they're poor feedback, best just to pay them and move on. Farmers can do a lot of damage if they're given, it's a difficult one, isn't it, Dale? It is a difficult one. And you're right what you say. Let's have a look. Hi, Mel Graham. Hope you and everyone in the group are well. Pasted a link to my profile. Thanks, Doug. You're a star. We're up to 49 people. That's not a bad group of individuals on 50, actually. I think the highest we had 75 the second week. That was for when Melanie was on, and it dropped significantly when I came on. She made me say that. Right. Back scratches out, folks. Can you see it? I have to bring it out every time. Chris Linton, hi all. Hi, Chris. Hope you're well. Actually, Chris, while you're on, for the people that are watching this, Chris Linton, you can see his name there below in the banner. Whatever they want to call it. What do they call it? Banner? Yeah, brand. Chris was lucky enough to find a hoard of hammered coins on our unearthed dig last year, 2020, before the dreaded virus got hold of us all and ruined just about everybody's life for a period. Now, Chris found a hoard with his Equinox that we'd been over the field 5 times before with a group of 40 detectorists, and he found it I've got pictures. I've got 5 lots of different images from 5 different digs of everybody detecting on that particular field. How the hoard was missed, I'll never know, but there you go. But here's the thing, if I can ask you, Chris, live on air, if you can just prompt your fines liaison officer that you handed the hoard over to, because I tried ringing him last week to get an update for the landowner and there was no answer, and he's not responded to my messages yet. So you'll have a contact number for him. He'll know you because you've handed the hoard over. I'm not saying there's going to be a problem. I don't want to scare anybody yet, but just touch base with him if you can, Chris, and just see if you can get an update on how the hoard is proceeding, because the landowner's just getting a little bit frustrated. I know they've been furloughed. I know the COVID kicked in, but what's the word I'm looking for? An important hoard like the one you found, Chris, needs to be kept in. We need to be kept in the loop communication wise. So if you can touch base with him, mate, and let me know, that would be fantastic. And well done on the hoard again as well. Well done on the hoard. Doodles, let's have a look what Doodles has said. I tell you what really peeves me off. Detectorist etiquette, leaving crap in holes does my boxing. I think it's we've had to ban people, Doodles, off our digs for leaving holes, caught red-handed, and leaving iron on the top and leaving the hole upside down and all that kind of stuff. It's horrible. It's horrible. And I think Steve coming in now. Oh no, there's a Dark Knight detectorist. I do apologise. It does my head in too. How long did it take to remove a piece of crap from a hole? The thing is, if they rally on again, they'll be finding the same target. Absolutely will. Right. So we've got. If you can give us a like, press the like button on YouTube, folks. Press the thumbs up of love emoji if you want, or the thumbs up on Facebook. That would be help. Just give the thing a boost. So there you go. Give it a like, folks. Somebody's just done it. That was fantastic. I watched it go up. That was Mel. So come on, folks, get the likes going. That's it. Kev knows the score. I've got a rally in July. Local group. My farmer carry threw them off the land as they didn't listen to the rules. They have land that I would never get on by myself. Should I still go? Difficult one, Kev. Only you can answer that one, mate. I would. They've got land. Yeah, I'd go. Yeah, get yourself on it, mate. You're doing things by the book. We've got two coming in now. Cronspan breaking up all kitchens to make chipboard, but not removing the hinges. This is then spread onto the fields containing hinges and fittings. The factory is in Chirk near Wrexham. The inhabitants complain of air pollution and dust, and accidents and fires are commonplace, but it brings jobs to the area, so the council turn a blind eye. Austrian owner was on the local Rotary committee, etc. I'll just leave that up, and I'll kill a moth at the same time. That flew out of Melanie's purse. Oh, I got him first. Purse and wallet. Pretty disgusting as well, David, isn't it? That, you know, I've kept that up so people can see. Only 15 likes on YouTube. Come on, folks, get the likes going on. We've actually got quite a lot watching. We've got over 50 people watching now. Quite a lot of them are on YouTube. So give us a like. Go on.
I don't know how to like it on YouTube.
Just press the like button, Mel. Johnny, and I wouldn't worry too much about... Can you get me a little drink of water, Mel? Go last, Mel. I wouldn't worry too much about the Horde and FLO. We're still waiting for an answer on the Bronze Age Horde that was found 2 years ago on our club weekend. COVID has delayed everything. It has, John. It has. There it is. Here's the thing. I don't know. We've got enough people on here to get this debate going now anyway. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to start Sunday Night Live off on the right foot. Some of you wonderful people would have noticed on social media this week that a particular detectorist here in the Northwest had handed in a Viking pin. Rather nice find. Thanks, Mel. A rather nice find, if I have to say so myself. I think he found it on a local beach. And he handed it into the FLO for more information. Now, it wasn't silver, so it wasn't classed as treasure, but it was a wonderful find. It was highly decorated. So he handed it in, and a number of months went by, or even longer, maybe a year or so, and then wanted to get information on what happened to it. And the FLO has misplaced it and lost it. Now, originally, I think they said it was lost. And then the detectorist in question, rightly so, wasn't very happy about it and posted the information on some social media sites. And then it ended up on Twitter. Somebody actually posted the information on Twitter saying how worrying it was that the FLO in question had misplaced this particular detectorist find. And will it be found, and will it be compensated, or if it goes missing, and what happens? And then all of a sudden, quite a lot of detectorists were commenting how they've had similar experiences with their finds liaison officer handing things in. So then all of a sudden you start thinking, well, what's going on? Now, you know, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody misplaces things. I misplace things all the time, including my car keys, sunglasses, you name it. But here's the thing. Some finds of importance, local, national importance, such as a Viking pin of that sort, of that magnitude, should really be kept safe. And it hasn't been kept safe. So there's an investigation on now to find out where this pin is. Now, the head of the Portable Antiquities scheme is also now involved because he read, let me turn this around for its claw so the claw can dig in. I can't help if I had an itchy back, Mel. The head of the Portable Antiquities scheme has now been tagged into the Twitter post on this, and he wants to know why it's gone missing. So watch this space. I think the best way forward for some people is, instead of physically handing over a particular find, if you can get away with, and if the finds liaison officer agrees to it, just send a couple of decent class, you know, images over by email with a brief description underneath it. Surely that should be enough to satisfy the finds liaison officer and give him the information required. Now, if they do require that you hand these non-treasure items over for further research, you know, make sure you get a receipt off these guys. Don't take, oh, I haven't got any receipts, I didn't get a receipt, or whatever, you can't have a receipt. Make sure you get a receipt. But I would be reluctant in some cases to hand over items physically if you don't need to. That's only my opinion, and I'll stick to it. The only things I will hand over physically when I have to, is obviously treasure items, but individual fines that don't need to go through the treasure process, then get away with, if you can get away with, and you should get away with, taking some high quality images, on your digital camera or your mobile phone. Is there such thing as a digital camera these days, or is it all mobile phones? And just fire them over to the fines liaison officer. I cannot stand the fact that some detectorists out there lose fines through incompetence and clumsiness and just the lack of being careful. It's wrong. You've worked damn hard to find these coins and artifacts as detectorists. And then when you do the right thing by handing them in, they go bloody missing. Wrong, mate. Do we need fines do we need FLO watch? Andrew Allen, the FLO isn't the only contact point for our fines. They have volunteers who are also photographing things. I wonder how many hands these have passed through. No, it's a bit of a concern. It's an area that seems to be growing. I noticed on social media last week when I was on very, very briefly, because we've been that busy with things, there was a lot of, I'll rephrase that, there was quite a few detectorists that had the same problem. One guy had handed in various coins from hammered coins to silver denarius, and the whole lot had gone missing 5 years ago. So he wasn't very happy. So we've got Tony Brown coming in. Evening, Tony. Hope you're well. And we've got, so if I'm missing some comments, I do apologise. I'm pressing one. I'm pressing one, and others are coming through. Parties FLO are overwhelmed with work, so the FLO has obviously mislaid it. However, you do put a lot of trust into them to look after their precious and potential important fines. Absolutely do. It's their job. It's a job, isn't it? So we've got the Silurian detectorists. I have a big problem with hoards. How come they can pick and choose which coins they want to keep? Surely they shouldn't split a hoard up. I agree. Absolutely agree. There's a few grey areas, isn't there? There's a few grey areas that need to be discussed. Now, who would be the right person to sit around the table with these people and discuss how things roll out? You've got a problem with that about the hoards, rightly so. Silurian detectorists. I don't know your name, sir, so I'll call you that. But here's the thing. One of my bugbears is coins with holes in. Now, if you find a hammered coin on a particular field and it's a single coin, and you're more than welcome to pass it over to the landowner or whatever agreement you've got. If the landowner lets you keep the coin, then so be it, and you put it into your wonderful collection. And you love showing people that particular coin. Let's say it's a Charles I half groat, right? But if that Charles I half groat had a hole drilled in it, things change. It's then classed as an artifact because it could have been worn as a pendant, and then it's classed as treasure. And I don't like that. And the reason why I don't like it is because they can't prove with these laws and rules around that particular item. They can't prove that coin, once it had a hole in, was never used for legal tender. So I think a lot of these coins with holes in were still used as legal tender. So I don't know how they can get away with saying, no, it's classed as an artifact now. I don't like it. It's only my opinion again, folks. Some of you might disagree, and that's fine. That's the way the world works. But I do not like the idea and the situation that people find themselves in when they find a hammered silver coin, for example, with a hole drilled through it or put in it or whatever the word is, maybe not drilled, but then it has to be handed in as treasure. An absolute most of the time, they're worthless pieces of silver, but they have a story to tell. And we've got more comments coming through. 59 people. A sovereign penny of mine went missing. There you go. It went missing. It's wrong for it to go missing. Lots and lots of fines are going missing every year in the hands of certain fines liaison officers. Now, remember, we'll probably have fines liaison officers watching this, and it isn't a witch hunt against them because a lot of them do a really decent job. However, there is an element out there, I'm sure, that could be doing a better job. They shouldn't be losing detectorist coins and artifacts. I sent photos of my Saxon coin a while back and still waiting for a response, but at least you've sent the photos in, Steve. And here's trouble, folks. It's Lisa Beasy from East Anglia. And I bet she's been sunbathing all weekend and drinking champagne because she's posh. Do we have to use FLO? Can you please explain the correct process? The thing is with the fines liaison officers, there's one, or supposed to be one, Kev, in every region of the country. So you can go to them for recording your fines, which is encouraged, which I understand, and it all goes to the national database, and we can understand much more about the history of this country when people record their fines with fines liaison officers, etc., etc. So it's your first port of call. Lots of people go to the fines liaison officers with treasure items. Some don't. Some go to the coroner, the district coroner of the area they found that particular find in, and all is supposed to be rosy in the garden, which is fine. However, even before the COVID kicked in and people were starting and people becoming furloughed, I hate that word as well, furloughed. Where did that come from? We never heard it before COVID came. People became furloughed, and then problems started to arise. However, there's been a lot of problems with fines going missing in the hands of fines liaison officers long before the COVID situation came to play. So people can't use that as an excuse. Good point, Graham Morrison. I missed Graham Morrison's comment, so I do apologise. It's way back up there, Graham, so I do apologise. We've got Liddy coming in. Over the years of recording my fines, I've noticed a pattern of the decent Wolf and Twins coins not being returned to me. And Lisa is really, really posh. There you go. I'm glad you said it. Well, that's interesting. I think we're going to get a bit of stick. But all seriousness, if you look at the first couple of sentences, I've noticed a pattern of decent Wolf and Twins coins not being returned. That's wrong. Absolutely wrong. We've got. I believe you can hand fines into the coroner. The coroner is there to deal with that. However, I contacted the coroner once, and they told me not to go to them direct, to go to the fines liaison officer once. So it's what do you do? Just finished work, you cheeky bugger. That's the most she's ever swore. Believe me, she never uses any words of disrepute. She's used bugger, and that is the worst word she's ever used in her life. That's how posh she is.
She says bagger.
And she says bagger. Yeah, Melanie says, also archaeologists are publishing books without fines, taking prominence. They take the publicity and what happens to income, fines from Cheshire, etc. Yeah, it's an interesting one, that, David. I think I read somewhere that these fines identified books, for example, that archaeologists and others produce, for example. I'm just using that as an example, not saying that it stops there. But I don't know if the money's put back into the system or it goes to charity or not. I'll have to do so. I'm pretty sure somebody told me it goes to charity, but I could be wrong, David. And you're just the man to find out, I bet. We've got, here we go. Billy's talk is a poverty story regarding the process. Hopefully the Beacon can acquire it to keep it in Cumbria. Well, we can see, Chris, can't we? We don't know yet. So let's not jump the gun yet. But, it's well, let's hope it's a positive result for the gentleman that found it. Posh Port out of Starboard, home to get the sun. There you go. So we've got Andrew coming in. They own the rights to the photos when they take them. It's standard photography laws, copyright, I believe. Well, there you go. You see, it's. I'm a bit despondent at times when I hear so many horror stories coming through from detectives. We have good fines liaison officer in Oxfordshire, but from Len Jackman. I'm waiting with bated breath, Len, to see what your next part's going to come up with. Speaking of Arkies, I tried to get a selfie with Indiana Jones last week in Newcastle, and he told me to foxtrot Oscar. Did he really? Well, you go, mate. You know what to say next time, don't you? So we've got a whopping 64 come on board now. Come on, folks, get the likes going on YouTube. Just click the like button. If you don't like us, put the like down button. But press the button. Darren Ward, are the FLOs required to be insured? I wonder if they claim for items lost. I'm not sure. I'm sure some of these items that have been handed over must be insured, surely, because people handing over potentially desirable objects, and there's nothing worse than something going missing. I've had a stir fry for me tea and it's dried me up because it's full of salt.
You said that last week.
But I did definitely add one this week, didn't I?
Yeah.
So there you go.
You made it. You cooked for the first time.
I cooked for the first time in a long time, and it was absolutely awesome, folks. And Melanie just said that. She didn't really. I said it. Maybe we should have a site where you can review a particular FLO. Well, I said, I jumped the gun a little bit in the week when I saying we should have FLO watch, to make sure they're doing the job correctly. But let's not, sometimes I just need to calm down a little bit. I get a little bit excited. So Detective Kev, I tried to explain that before, Kev. I probably didn't do it as well as I should. Unearth what's the difference between FLO, coroner, and PS. How does the PS scheme work? I only ask for them ones that are watching and don't know. So the Portable Antiquity Scheme is there as a voluntary service in existence for people to record their finds from different counties of the UK, so we can put together, I shouldn't have said we. They can put together a map of finds that are coming out of different counties. So if you were a subscriber to our Detectorist magazine, which I'm sure you are, Kev, the first issue or two, we did, a gentleman called Steve Lancaster did some wonderful work around the Portable Antiquity Scheme and the areas in the counties in the country that had recorded the most finds and what eras and areas they came from and such like. It was some fantastic graphs going on there. And I urge people to go back at the old episodes of that, earlier issues of the Detectorist magazine to see that sterling work Stephen put in. But you can go directly to the coroner's, Kev, if you find a piece of treasure. You've got 2 weeks to do it, to record your find. So you've got a 2-week period to record your find with either the finds liaison officer or the coroner, the local coroner for that district. And once you've done that, it's recorded and they'll send you a letter of acknowledgement, etc., etc. And then at some point, they'll ask for the treasure item to be handed in, and then it goes through the treasure process, and then it goes through the process of whether or not you will end up getting paid out for it. The museum wants to acquire it, or you get it actually handed back to you or the landowner. So we've got Chris Linton coming in. Coroner told me to inform FLO as well, which he did with me, when reporting the hoard. Had info this week on hoard, been told they should be looking at them now. So still a fair way, but that's good news, Chris. That means the hoard hasn't been misplaced, which was one of my worries because we hadn't heard anything for such a long time, and they're on with it. And I think that's going to be quite an important hoard. That hoard. Edward I, Edward II. When it was buried, we think that the Scots came down into Cumbria and into Carlisle because they sacked Carlisle. I think was it. Now somebody's going to pull me up over this. Was it 1317 or was it 1327? I think it was 1327, around about August time, July, August, hot summer. The Scots came down, Robert the Bruce's army, and raided Carlisle. And he didn't just raid Carlisle, the land surrounding Carlisle was laid to waste. But they also had a rather wet period where the army actually got bogged down in some areas. And the weather actually was against them for a period. But you can imagine, right? You can imagine the situation where you've got a town. I'm just going to put this up. You've got a town like Carlisle, a border town, which is heavily defended. And then all of a sudden you get wind of Robert the Bruce's Scottish army coming down to raid. Now, a formidable army in the thousands of rather... what's the word I'm going to look for? Rough and ready individuals just waiting for blood. I put a bit of a romance on that there, didn't I? Now, the locals, with a 10-mile radius, should have got wind of this by the beacons going up, people on horseback being sent out to the outlying areas to warn the villages and other towns that there was a raid, about to happen. So the people that had a few quid or a few pennies stashed away, the first thing they do is think, hang on a minute, if I get caught with 70 hammered pennies or 69 hammered pennies, which is what Chris Linton's hoard was, of Edward I and Edward II pennies, the first thing I'm going to do is get it buried because I don't want them finding it. Now, they rush off and bury it in a prominent place that they can remember, right? They can remember to retrieve it at a time in the future. And here's the thing, they can only dig down so deep with these hoards because you think about the tools that they would have used in them days. The physical spades or the implements that they would have used to bury that hoard would have only been able to be used at such a depth. And then it would have been almost impossible for them to go any deeper without making a bigger hole and time consuming and everything else. So the general rule possibly is maybe 15 inches, 18 inches maximum. They put the hoard down there, thinking that they can go back to it in the near future because it's the life savings. And for whatever reason, these people never went back to retrieve them hoards. Now, there's two things that could have happened. A, they got killed, right? They got killed by the army, or they forgot where they buried it. They could have even, the army could have been right on their doorstep. It could have been the middle of the night. And they've ran out into the night to bury the hoard. You know, they haven't got electricity in them days. They haven't got headlights. They haven't got lamps. You know, the only form of light would have been candles, I guess, and daylight or moonlight. So they've probably rushed out of their homes and buried the hoard in the night, never to be retrieved again because they just physically couldn't find it again. There's so many, you know, your imagination starts working on these hoards, doesn't it? Why didn't they come back and get it? Interesting stuff. I just get a bit carried away with it all, don't I? Where we at? We've got Bill Ellis come on asking for a detector again. Bill, hi, but Graham, any news of the Nocta Macro Gold 2000? How much? I'm not sure how much. I think Nocta have made a new gold machine, haven't they? Which is quite simple to operate, which will be good. I think is it now? Don't quote me on this. Is it 61 kilohertz? And it will be a decent machine. If Nocta Macro have made it, it will be a decent machine. There's no two ways about it. Right, here we go. The Scots are still raiding, John Branner. So that's Chris Kirk giving John Branner a bit of banter. I think it was 13-17. Don't quote me. I think Wallace was captured 13-14, but 13-20 is close enough. Yeah, I think it was. My memory serves me. The Scots raided Carlisle quite significantly on in that year, and I think that hoard pretty much ties up with. I think we did the homework and said that the hoard ties up with, or we thought the hoard ties up with one of the border raids. And what other reason would people be burying hoards? You know, they've got to be frightened, haven't they? Right, we've got more information coming up. We've got another one from Darren. 62 people watching. Quite a few thumbs up now, folks, which is good. Keep liking the old YouTube. Put the thumbs up on the YouTube, folks. It's a nice thing to do. I think we got quite a few thumbs down last time. I think we got 3 or 4, which is always encouraging. I love it. My hoard has been in the British Museum since 2019. I do keep emailing for an update every so often, but just keep pushing for progress. After reading all these nightmare stories, I hope it's safe. Just keep pushing. Every couple of months, just drop them an email, Darren. You're not doing anything. You're not doing any harm. You're not doing any harm whatsoever. Steve Wade is on. Good evening, Steve. We're on 1951. 61 views. Will be a few more hoards in Colchester after the Iceni raided the Romans and slaughtered them late at night. There you go. I bet there is, Dale. And you're just the man, actually, to find them. Can you rule out Dale finding a hoard of, Roman coins? Chris says they did raid in 1315. I think there's another date that a big raid happened, I don't think it was 1315, Chris. I know there was probably a raid on that day, but the one I'm thinking of was a little bit later. Yeah, 1315 was the siege of Carlisle. John Branner will be raiding on the 4th of July. He will indeed. Bill Ellis has confirmed my quote of 61 kilohertz, which is, quite high kilohertz, very, very sensitive to small bits of gold, Bill. It'd be a good machine, that, actually. Dave Jones was there on the day the hoard came up. Cracking privilege to be there to witness the hoard. Absolutely. The thing is, when the hoard comes up, and I said this a couple of weeks ago on Sunday Night Live, that when the hoard comes up and people can witness a hoard coming up live, it gives people a lot of experience, actually, that don't often get the experience or the chance to experience such an event. So we've got Detective Kev coming back in. Go find that hoard, Dale, and then Dale won't be able to reach the bottom of the hole. If it was 18 inches or more, he probably wouldn't, Andrew. He's getting more stick. Do you know what? He loves it, though. He thrives off it. Absolutely thrives off it. Wonderful article on the BBC News today about the 2 gold coins found in Norfolk. Yeah, 2 gold hammered. Was it half leopard, which is an extremely rare coin, and a full gold noble of Edward III, which was, yeah, I read that, Michael. Yeah, terrific find. And Liddy, I'm currently raiding my biscuit tin. There you go. Hobnobs. Hobnobs indeed. And Chris has come in with good idea. So yeah, so let's just have a little bit of a recap before I move on. Before I move on to other things, other debates, if that's the right word. You know, just be aware that there is rally organisers out there, folks, that are putting people on land and claiming it's virgin land when it's clearly not virgin land. Now, you know, anybody that knows me and have been on the digs that we organise, I'll tell you if it's virgin land, or you all know yourselves without me telling you if we've been on that farm before. So just be careful, just be aware that there is some new and upcoming dig organisers, you know, in this country that are organising rallies. Now, you know, I'm not against them doing it in so much as, you know, they've got every right to do it, just as I've got a right to do it and you've got a right to do it, but they've got to do it. They've got to do it correctly and don't lie to people. As soon as you start lying to people and putting them on old land that's been detected before, everything else fails. And the only person you've got to pick up the only person that can pick up the pieces from that is yourself. Where we at? Darren Ward's coming in. The wife has a hoard in her purse. I just get the shrapnel. How many times have you heard that, Darren? You'll be getting some stick off your missus if you keep talking like that. Let's have a look what else I've got going on. I don't know if I can press that one. Let's have a look. I raided my lager hoard and found some cheeky tequila. There you go, mate. On a Sunday night, get it fired into you. I got to attend the excavation of my hoard. What a day. Fantastic seeing how they do it, all the information they take after removing each layer of soil. And you did the right thing, Darren. You called in the authorities when the hoard was discovered. And it was a fantastic discovery of Republican silver denarius of the Roman period, of course. And my local taxi driver messaged me yesterday as somebody had been randomly left a silver hammered in his cab. Was a Lizzie Groat. He knew I detected, so I wanted to know if he was now a millionaire. There you go. I bet you devastated him, Lisa, and said, no, because you find dozens of them every year. But it just shows you who's lost that in the car. Interesting stuff. Chris Critch has just come in. There he is, look, the legend himself. I just tuned in. Hi, G and Mel. Mel is actually falling asleep listening to my dulcet northern tones. It's sending her to sleep, which is not a bad thing. We've got what we've got going on here now. Come on, Rushy lad. That's so random, Lisa. It is actually random, isn't it? Absolutely random. And she's saying, yes, it is. Dougal's gone, Diggins coming back in. There's lots and lots of messages coming in, which is encouraging. I would rather find a crotal bell than a hoard. That's my #1 bucket list. To just keep eluding me. Do you know what? Crotal bells in some areas of the country are absolutely really thick on the ground. And then yet other parts of the country, like up here in Cumbria, they very rarely come up. East Anglia, for example, and parts of Lincolnshire, they come up quite often. Oh, there's some good banter coming on here now, isn't there? Probably lost by the FLO in the back of the taxi. And my old friend has come on, Dibby, little legend himself. Probably FLO's lost it. Fantastic, yes. Love it. Love the banter. There you go. People laughing about it. It's all about, you have a bit of a laugh. Come on. Yeah, so somebody's lost a Lizzie. If anybody's lost a Lizzie Groat in the back of a taxi in East Anglia, get in touch with Lisa. Right, here we go. Here we go. Let's get Detective Kev's information back up before we move on. I'm happy with a coin, any coin, as I'm a coin collector, so all coins have a story and fascinate me. Absolutely. I love the coins, and I've always loved coins with dates on from an early age. So when I first found an Elizabeth sixpence, which was my first hammered coin ever, 1595, I was just amazed that this coin had a date on a 1595 and the item was that old. I couldn't get my head round. I'd probably never held anything of that age before. And I still have a real soft spot for Elizabeth coins. And I've had friends that have found Elizabeth hammered, really good ones, and come up to me and said, oh, I've just found a hammered. It's only a Lizzie. I'm like, only a Lizzie? Come on. There's some of the best coins of Elizabeth I coins if they're not worn out. I've only found one. Where we at? Come on, catch up. Only found one crotal bell that was in Cumbria. There you go. You see, there's me saying they don't come up often. You found one. I lost a hammered in the garage when paying. I wonder what they thought. Wonder what they thought when they found it. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Just got a little bit of lag coming on, folks, but we'll get through it. I found a crotal bell on an unearthed dig. Rings beautifully found. 2 in Cumbria for me now. There you go, David. I remember you finding that, actually. I remember you finding it. We've got SHG, got the Spade Cheers G, taking out tomorrow on a green waste field. Oh, you'll be doing some digging, sir. You'll be doing some digging. And good luck with it. And good luck. Lizzie the first and second, and Vicky, my favourite queens. There you go. Good mixture there. I knew of a window cleaner who had his van nicked. The police were told 2 weeks or so later. The police happily informed the man his van had been found by a farmer. The van had been abandoned down a remote farm trackway. The window cleaner went to collect his van and found 2 metal detectors in the back. Wow. What a story. What a story. We've got some information coming through. Carl Groom, my wife found a hoard of crotal bells. Give us some more information about that, Carl. That's very interesting. A hoard of crotal bells. How many did she find and how many were full? I'd love to know. I would love to know. Random question. How do you say medieval? Medieval or medieval? I say medieval. There you go. I'll say that one more time. Medieval. Can't believe I'm saying that on air. Lizzie half pound is what you want. I want a Lizzie half crown. I've always wanted I found everything from the 3 farthings, half pennies, if I'm right there, pennies, half groats, 3 pences, then groats, 6 pences, shillings of Elizabeth I, but I want a half crown. And I don't think I'm ever going to find one. Lady said it's a true story about the 2 detectors found in the back of the van, which is amazing. Just shows you what goes on. And Carl Groom, 6 crotal bells in one hole. Wow, that's amazing. What story is that? Why has somebody buried 6 crotal bells in one hole? Absolutely amazing. Interesting find, Carl. Plenty of crotal bells in Oxfordshire, but most of them are broken. Yeah, no. Certain soils will hold them and keep them full. I found 3 full ones in one day on one field in East Anglia once. And I've never found, since that day, I've never found a full one since, I don't think. So for good, I love any medieval coin, but Edward Groats, I love Groats. I've got a soft spot for Groats, mate. I love them. Any Groats, just fantastic. Found my first crotal bell last week in Cheshire. It's got the ringer in it, true, fantastic. Our treasure. And we've got Deborah Johnson. I've only ever had an Edward III, never a Lizzie. We've got plenty of time, Deb, and you will find one. There you go. What we've got going on? Says 11. The prize cow must have died there, meaning about the 6 crotal bells found in one hole. Ladies and gents, how do you say Boadicea or Boudica? I'm old school and probably say it completely different to a lot of yous, but I say Boadicea. But I've noticed on television, a lot of these historian types, they say Boudica. But Boadicea? That's how I was brought up to call it. I don't like Boudica. It's because I'm used to saying Boadicea, which is probably wrong. They were next to a pond in a field. Maybe the cow maybe fell off cows drinking. You'll never know. Interesting though, isn't it? This is the problem. This is the issue. Not problem, but the issue with detecting. It gets your imagination running wild, because how the hell did some of these things get to be under our search coils? Steve Wade is back on. Found my first Victoria Silver 3 pence today, and the Nocta Spade is a beast. It is a beast. Yeah, I love him. Yeah, I've took one out of stock and I'm using it myself. They're a fantastic item. I would love to almost any coin non-discipline. I've never found how much you will do. Am I right in saying you're Lincolnshire, Mike? Are you Lincolnshire or not? I don't know. Silurian Detectorist. If I can get him back up, I get a buzz when I find a nice item. I get a buzz when I post it. Then it goes in my case. Never enjoyed it again. I'm not a collector, but I won't sell anything. Feel like a waste. Yeah, no, it's good point. Where we at? Here we are. See that little pause? It wasn't anything other than me just reading through. Boudicea, Lisa says. which is how I pronounce it, but I don't pronounce it in a Norfolk accent. Too much. Is that Norfolk? What I was doing? Right, moving on quickly. Don't get me on that accent crack because I cannot do it. Enough of this hard stuff. I can't get earlier stir fry remark out of my head. Finger on the just eat Chinese takeaway button. We have a local butcher, Dougie, right? It's about 2 or 3 miles that way. Heading, hang on, let me get it, southeast possibly. And he makes a black garlic stir fry of prime cuts of steak. So it's the what's the posh steak called? Fillet steak. So the cuts off the fillet steak he puts into this stir fry. It's called black garlic, and it is just the best. So if that doesn't get your taste buds going, I don't know what will. Hartley, sorry, Doodles. No, Cornish. Yeah, it could have been Cornish. Couldn't have been Cornish. I think Chris has gone to bed, and I don't blame him if he's got work next day. Sorry, I've got that many people coming on, which is really good. Give us a like. Press the like button on YouTube if you're watching it on YouTube. Just bang the like button. Go on. I dare you. Have you got that ghost story ready yet, Graham? I'm going to mention it. I'm going to mention this ghost story, but you've all got to bear with me because it's a bit close to the bone, really. And I'm a bit 50-50 about saying it because I don't want to bring the hobby into disrepute, really. But sorry, Doodles, you did say something, didn't you? I found a hammy thought it was copper, kept it because I had thistle only to bring out Cashier saw later, showing it off to a find. I found it was a James. Is that James the 6th? I was buzzing all over again. There you go. Right. We'll get Detective Kev back up. My old farm permission, I found a large number of objects over a few months, and we pieced a puzzle together, and it was all part of this farmer's family history. I was so happy. He cried. He died now, but happy. That's good, Kev. Really interesting stuff. You know, this is what I mean. The work that detectives do is just amazing. I remember my detecting partner finding a dog tag, and it had the name of the dog on it, and underneath it had the name of a man. And we took it to show the farmer. It turned out to be the farmer's great-grandfather. So in them days, in the Victorian or early Victorian times, they had dog tags then with the names on them. And we handed it in, and he couldn't believe it that he'd found a piece of family history on his farm. Right, ghost story for detectivists. And this is, I have no reason to believe this. I believed him. So call me a crank if you will, but I believed him. I went detecting a long, long time ago into East Anglia at a place called Burgh Castle. Some people call it Burgh. Is it Burgh Castle? But it was Burgh Castle. B-U-R-G-H. They had a rally there in the early 90s. And they ploughed the fields around the Roman fort. And we were able to detect 2 days on them fields, and we found lots of Roman coins, and it was really all above board. It was a really nice place to detect. And of an evening, there was a caravan site nearby, and it had a clubhouse, a pub, a bar. So of course, I was only young at the time. I was probably 21, 22, and I loved it. You know, I love detecting then just as much as I do now. So I went in with my 4 or 5 friends because we were camping. And I went into the pub, and it was full of detectives because the rally was obviously going on the same day, and they all were camping like we were camping. So of course, we had a bit of banter, and a lady stripper came in dressed as a policewoman, which was very interesting. And then after all the excitement died off, we got talking to quite a few detectives, and there was 2 detectives that were local that were there, and they came along just to see what came up. But as we got talking to him, right, I want you to bear with me because there's no more comments coming on, so you are bearing with me. As we got talking to him, it transpired that these 2 detectives had been detecting some years earlier on the same fields as the rally, but it wasn't ploughed then, I think. I don't know. It might have been arable land that back then, but I always thought he said it was pasture. Now, I didn't get into the debate whether he had permission to detect on there, but I'm pretty sure he did. But they were finding that much gear through the day that they ended up detecting at dusk. And then the farmer who owned the land said to them, don't go on a particular field because I've got a flock of sheep on. So they didn't go on it, of course. You do what the farmer tells you to do or the landowner tells you to do. But they noticed, just as it was getting dark, that all the sheep, all of a sudden, were making their noise, as they do. If anybody's been around a flock of sheep, believe me, they can be loud. Our flock's only a small of 25 sheep, but it's loud when they all start barring at the same time. And all these sheep in this field were giving it big time, right? And then all of a sudden they stopped. And they thought it was a bit strange, but they carried on detecting. They carried on detecting pretty much, into the darkness because they were finding stuff. But then the Roman fort itself, which is Birr Castle, which is a walled fort. If you can Google it, if any of you can Google it, you'll see what I mean. It's like a square. And this guy was quite open about telling me what had happened. So there was no pauses. It was just rolled off his tongue. And his friend was there deadly serious. And he said, all of a sudden, the sheep stopped in this field. And they just looked up, looked around. I thought that was a bit strange. And then the whole of the Roman fort lit up. It lit up. And some sort of craft, as he described it, come out of the fort, rotated out the fort, rotated like a UFO possibly. That's what he described it as, a UFO. Come out and literally bounced like a bouncing ball off 2 or 3 of the fields and shot off into the air. Now, Reeves was stood there in amazement. His mate dropped his detector and ran off onto the main road or the slip road, and he did the same, but he was carrying his detector. So they ran off because they seen this thing. And they got onto the road, the track leading up or leading down to the farm or whatever it was, or the campsite or the church. And they ran and they carried on running until they got to the top of the road where there was a police car waiting for them. And the police cars turned his headlights on, and these two, one detectorist with no detector and another one with his detector over his shoulder, panting. And the detectorist thought, good God, the police are here. And the policeman, 2 policemen got out, and the policeman said to him, listen, we're not here for you. We're not here for you. They must have thought they were night hawkers. We're not here for you. We've actually been sat here watching that light and that object come out of the ground, as they called it. Can you give us some more details on it? So they ended up, both of them, sitting in the back of the police car and ended up having to give a statement for 15, 20 minutes on what they saw and how it happened. And then, as they calm down, because I think if you see something out of the ordinary, you can be quite, I think you can be quite shocked, shell shocked, or your mind's ticking over what could have happened, what couldn't have happened. So you had to give a statement to the police, the East Anglia police, on exactly what they saw. And you've got to remember, these 2 guys detecting down there were the first people or the nearest people to see this object come out of the fort. So they had to give a statement on it. And when they finally, and they had to give the name and address and everything else, and when they finally got their senses back together, the policeman let them out of the car, and the police drove to the bottom of the lane and drove off. And then reality set, and they thought, we've got to go back down there because my detector's still laying on the field. And none of them would go. So they flagged it when the police car pulled up and come up the lane. They said, do you mind coming? Have you got a torch? Because it was pitch black by this time. Have you got a torch? Why? Because I've left my detector on the fields. And the 2 policemen said, we ain't going down there for you, sir. You've got to go and get it yourself. So what they did, they went home. He was too frightened to go back for it. He went home, and the next day in daylight, they drove back before work, and there was his detector, which was a laser detector, a B1, I think. He went back to pick it up. And here's the weird thing. Right, and this is where it got a bit odd. And believe that you can believe this story, or you can just dismiss it. It's entirely up to you. We're all different, aren't we? But as you can imagine, I'm there sipping my pint of lager, absolutely transfixed, and as were other detectorists around us, listening to this story of this guy. And he gave us no reason not to believe him. By the way, he was deadly serious. His face didn't change. He said, when they got home that night, No, a few nights later, when one of them got home from work, he stripped off from work to get in the shower and noticed in the mirror that he had a red streak of some description across the top of his body, like a rash, perfectly, almost like he'd been wearing a seatbelt and it had gone, the seatbelt had gone across you and made a mark. And this rash had remained for a couple of weeks apparently before it disappeared, and he was absolutely convinced that rash, that streak across his chest, was from this object, because the object actually came right over him before it disappeared. So there you go. Very interesting stuff from this guy. And do you know what? We actually detected with him on the next day, and he was telling us the hotspots of that particular field where to find stuff. We never did find a great deal where he told us to go, actually. But we did find a lot of Roman coins that weekend, which was fantastic. It was a great rally. But we never seen him again. Never seen him again. Never met him again. Never come across him again. You never know. He might be watching this. Come on, give us a crack if you are. So there you go, folks. There's your the ghost story of all ghost stories. Very interesting. And you know what? Even though it was 1991, so that's 20 odd year ago, or 30 years ago, 1991, 2001. Yeah, long time ago. It's still stuck in my mind that particular incident happened to them guys. And he said, I can always remember him saying this thing bounced like a bouncing ball. It come out, bounce onto the field, doing, and then off. So there you go. There's the ghost story. Saw a ghost down a lane behind a tree. Found out later it's a very rare tree for this area. I went home quickly. Detective Kev E.T. has taken him, possibly. Never been. Well, I've never come across him, but are we going to come across him? Because social media wasn't there. Social media wasn't around in them days, so we couldn't, you couldn't say my name's John Smith and I live in East Anglia and I go detective. So you couldn't find him on Facebook. We just didn't have no mobile phones or links to anybody to stay in touch with. On Earth has gone galactic. Any customers from Epsilon 5, probably Epsilon 6, if that's the right way to pronounce it, Andrew. But yeah, you wanted the ghost stories, you got it. Abducted by aliens. There you go. Where we at? Steve Knight's coming up, I think. I'm trying to get you. I saw some weird stuff when I was a cop on night shifts. I bet you did. Bizro's on, listening to that story, I guess. Evening, bet he was spaced out. I bet he was, yeah. I hope them visitors have an FLO officer on Mars, yeah. Yeah, they were convinced, actually, that these crafts, or whatever they were, visited ancient places in the country. So that's the crack why it was in the fort. And they don't even know it got in there. But there you go. The story of all stories, folks. Right, so while you're on, folks, 157 people. We've stayed around about 57, 60 people. We've got the launch of the Detectorist magazine this week. So all you wonderful people that have subscribed to it, which is in several thousand, have subscribed now to the Detectorist magazine. The VIP launch of that magazine will be Friday this week. And then everyone else will get a copy or can see it on Facebook, on social media 48 hours later. So if you've signed up for the Detectorist magazine and you're a VIP guest or a VIP member, you'll get a copy sent to your email address as a PDF file, and you can download it and read the magazine at your leisure, which is free of charge. And I have to say, this magazine that's coming this week, we try to make them better. Each bi-monthly magazine is trying to beat the other one, which was very difficult to do, actually, because the first two were epic. But this one in particular has got some fantastic finds in. So watch out for a particular find that somebody's made on here, actually, on one of our friends. You'll love it. You'll love it. I loved it. He loved it. You'll all love it. So keep an eye out for the Detectorist magazine this week, folks. If you haven't subscribed to it, subscribe to it. It's simple to do. Go on the Unearth website, look at the toolbar at the top, put your email address in, submit it, and you'll get it sent to you. Please check your spam box if it doesn't arrive, and please check your promotion box if it doesn't arrive, because it'll be in one of them three. We've got Detective Kevin just trying to catch up. I saw and heard weird things working nights in a hotel. The hotel Tantons was used to try and hang people back in the day. Yeah, but it was a bit of a rough place, Kev. Here we go. Graham, what are your top 3 bucket list? Have you found all 3? No, I haven't. Al. And I don't mind sharing this with people. I found every single gold item of all periods of history apart from Celtic. So my bucket list find is a Celtic gold coin, or a Celtic gold artifact even. I found Bronze Age gold, found Roman gold, Saxon gold, medieval gold, and onwards Georgian Victorian gold all the way up. I've never found Celtic gold. I found Celtic silvers, I found Celtic bronzes, I found Celtic artifacts and Celtic brooches, but I've never, ever, ever found a Celtic gold coin. However, my detecting partner Gaz has had, how many has he had? 1, 2, 3, at least 3 or 4. I cannot find them Celtic golds for love of money. Found gold hammered, gold Roman coins, you name it. Gold Saxon, Bronze Age ring money. Cannot find Celtic gold. So my bucket list, Al, is Celtic gold, Elizabeth I half crown, and I've always liked the Elizabeth I half crowns. I was on a rally once when one turned up, and it was the most amazing piece of chunky, huge, whopping silver I've ever seen. It was in really good condition. Bucket list, third one. It's a difficult one, mate. I know I've been quite lucky at detecting. I found just about everything there is out there to find apart from Celtic gold. So I'll tell you what I do like. I like Henry VIII hammered gold as well. So just to be proper spoil, I'll put that in there. We've got, anyone noticed that that's showing UFO sightings and magnet fishing spots on the Arco app? Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that. On the Archie, it must be the Archie search, yeah. It's a fab magazine and for free. How you guys manage it, I'll never know. It takes a lot of work and effort, Andrew, believe me. Let me just see some of these comments. Here we go. I'm just going back. Steve Peachy, good evening, everyone. If you can remember, 2 weeks ago, I did mention upgrading to a Nox from a Simplex. Well, I did. Struggled for the first 4 digs, but started to tune into the tones. Well done, Steve. I don't know if you bought it off us, Steve, or not. You'll pull me up on that, I'm sure, if you didn't. But I'm sure you did. Interesting one coming up now from Fading Out Dave. Any updates on the very special gold coin that was found last year, Graham? Which one was that, Dave? Tell me. On the very special gold coin. The Mancus, you mean? You mean the Mancus? Yeah. I'll do a bit of research on that this week. And the British Museum have got it at the moment, David. So I'm not sure exactly what's happening with it at the moment, other than the British Museum were doing some tests on the coin. And everything was above board, and it was going through fine. So the gold Mancus update will be coming out anytime soon, I think. But yeah, what a fabulous piece! What a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous piece that was. Anybody would go do cartwheels if they found a coin of unique historical significance as that gold Mancus. So yes, the Mancus, yeah, that's it. The Mancus, mate. Yeah, Mancus, yeah. So I'll speak to the finder actually this week. I'll give him a call because he's a cracking chap. And we'll see what's going on. We've still got half an hour left, folks. We've got about half an hour left of this live stream. A little bit over half an hour, actually. We'll finish at 9 o'clock tonight. So any topics that you want to discuss. So we've already discussed the magazine. We've discussed fines going missing with certain fines layers and officers. And we've also discussed at length about people running digs that are putting individuals and detectorists on potentially virgin land only to find it's been literally hammered by club and country. We've got Michael. I'm not upgrading until the new Noctua Macro multi-frequency machine is out. There you go. Should be a good machine. I think it's called the Multiplex. The Multiplex, Mike, which will be a good crampy features, multi-frequency, you name it. So It'll be good. It'll be good. The Dark Knight, I'm back in the room. Well done, Jace. Mancus, bloody fun. Yeah, Mancus, cracking apps. Not many people know about the Mancus coins because just no one ever finds them. I think there's only been about 5 or 6 Mancus coins ever found, and that one of King Egbert, the Saxon king, had never been found, so it was unique. Cartwheel, I would struggle to do a roly-poly. I think, mate, if you found that, mate, you'd proper do a cartwheel. We'd try our best, wouldn't we? Because you'd just take the shackles would come off, age would be no object, and you'd probably faint, wouldn't you? You know, I wonder how many people actually have found a hoard in this country and had bloody heart palpitations because, you know, you imagine the scenario of putting your spade in to soft ploughed soil. You know, your probe's going mad and your detector's going mad. You take the first inch or two off or whatever it might be, and then you see a glint of gold or silver coins staring back at you. It must be a hell of an experience and a hell of a feeling. Right, Jeff Block. When your book comes out, how do we buy it from Unearthed or the other outlets? Entirely up to you, Jeff. We will be stocking the book. I put an order in for about 500 books because I'm hoping it'll be relatively popular. So you can buy directly off the Unearthed website when they actually come in stock. I've got a few amendments to make to the book this week, and then it'll be submitted to be printed and out for the public at the end of August now. So what we're on the end of June, aren't we? It was actually due out next week. It was actually due out this week, but they put it back because of COVID and other things that kicked in. So yeah, I'm looking forward. Do you know what? When that book comes out and I can finally sit back and think I've done it, I've got over the finish line, I'll be happy because, you know, I read it on the PDF and I read certain things and I keep reading it every now and then. I think, what a great book. But that's because I'm biased. I wrote it, so I'm going to think that. Now, I don't know what Beezy's saying please about. Give me a clue, Beezy. You're saying please for something. I personally say that the Mancus is priceless, to be fair. How would you even value it? I don't know. Don't know, mate. I totally agree. Where we are you going to sign all copies from Unearthed? I don't think so. Darren, because you can imagine the situation of anybody being able to print a book. I mean, you know, anybody, if I can write a book, anybody can write a book. But you write a book and you put a lot of time and effort, hundreds of hours of putting your effort into it, and you get writer's block and everything else, but you finally achieve it. That's your achievement. I think if you start signing books, you start going into that sort of like celebrity status, and people start thinking, well, hang on a minute, he's signing his books. You couldn't imagine me sat down at Waterstones, where it will be on sale actually, or whatever it's called, WH Smith, and me sat down there on a table and people come up to you and say, can you sign this book? I'd probably get one person in 10 days. Not everybody wants to read a detective book, so I don't think I'll be. If somebody came to me and said, can you sign it? I will sign it, but is that not being a little bit cringy? Where we at? I've just got a little bit of where we at? Mate, them ones a special edition. There you go. Yeah, I don't mind. Please, could you sign mine? Love from the Metal Guru. Oh, do you know what? I'm getting more stick every week. Lisa comes on, I get stick. I'll get my own back. Believe me. And Dark Knight Detectorist, are you signing the books? Oh, I don't think I am, mate. Must get the dogs out. All the best. Love the channel. Speak soon. Thanks, Brian, with your Charles Scottish Hammered, maybe? Or was it Shilling? I can't see my eyes. Are you signing the books again? Anyone fancy doing a Knox book from? I'm pressing the. Anyone fancy doing a Knox 800 book? Do you know what? There'll be somebody doing a really good Knox book at some point. They're bound to be. You are a bloody celebrity, mate. No, I'm not. I don't want to be classed as anything like that. You could get Team Unearthed to sign them for you. I could. Yeah, I could do. Good evening, all, from Victor. Hi, Victor. Now then, Victor, just remind me on Portugal. Am I right? Are you Portuguese? let me know. If you are, that's brilliant. If you're not, I do apologise. Jeff, I'll meet you and Mel one day, so I'll bring the book. You're more than welcome. It'd be lovely to see you, Jeff. Actually, lovely to see you on, if we have the weekend coming up, if you can make that. It'll be lovely to see you. Robert Hunter Collins, if I bring my best lucky detecting underpants, will you sign them, Graham? The things that you ask me to do, Rob. So it's the banana challenge, signing your underpants, whatever will be next. Your lucky underpants. There you go. And you've got a laugh from the Dark Knight Detectress. Actually, I want Tinker's paw print in mind. We were actually going to bring Tinker on, but she's rolled up in a bed flat out. I'm actually looking at her now. Tinker. Nope. Totally ignored me. Here, Tinks. Come here. Tinker. No. Melanie tried. Melanie said, bring Tinker on your knee to show people, but she's staring at me. We're both not coming out of the bed. If I had a ball here, she'd definitely come if I was bouncing the ball. Victor is definitely from Portugal, and I remembered. And welcome from Portugal, Victor. Lovely to see you, sir. As always. I hope you're well. I hope the weather is. As nice there as it is here, because we've been in 25 degrees of heat today, wrestling around with sheep with lame ailments and things, which isn't brilliant to do in any time. Never mind the hot heat. I need to bring a camera for that one, Rob. I don't think I'll be signing his underpants. Where we are. Still haven't got an ID on the circular object I sent you a picture of, Graham. It was found in a field where the Scottish Army passed through. Did I just remind me on, Michael? Did I respond to that? Because I get sent a lot of emails with people's finds on, and I don't remember, and it's just information overload. I don't always remember what they are. So just remind me on with that. If I responded to it and I didn't tell you what it was, then I don't know if that makes sense. Get a bulldog. The only answer to the word food. Well, believe me, she does as well, mate. She's a Plummer Terrier and she can eat. Gee, if Lisa Beasley asks you to sign her big red knickers, don't fall for it. Say no and walk away. The problem is with them big red knickers is I might use them as a sand eel trawl net on the back of the boat because I want something that can catch this live sand eel for the bass fishing. There's a bit of banter going on. Very funny, Lydia Lancaster. Do you know what? There's a good bit of banter going on with these ladies tonight. He sent you a Facebook Messenger. Did I respond to it, Mike? British Museum haven't responded either. If you sent it on Messenger, sometimes it goes into spam. So I don't always get lots of messages on Facebook. Weird. Some of them are weird as well. We've got there my lucky pants. If you wear your red lucky pants, Lisa, and they find the things for you, and you find nice objects and coins or whatever when you're wearing them, keep wearing them. Keep wearing them. So Victor's actually come back to me. Thanks. I mean Portuguese, but live. All right, okay. So you live in this country, but you're from Portugal, right? So I guess the Portuguese weather, you wouldn't know a great deal about that then. My fault entirely. I'm just trying to see if I've lost any. We've got Jeff Block coming in about a couple of minutes ago. Jeff, I missed it. Need to bring a camera for that one. I just can't imagine Rob's lucky underpants, really. Right, okay, I'm with you. Yes, you did, Graham. You said you had no idea, but neither has anyone else. No, well, sometimes you find them objects and artifacts, Michael, that nobody can ever identify. We've all got, every single person on here that detects for a length of time will find something that they can't ID. And to other people, sometimes it looks like a piece of scrap. But to you as the finder, or us as the finder, we're absolutely, convinced it's something really sort of smart and interesting. And it captures our imagination, doesn't it? We've got Bizro coming in saying he detects commando, which is a little bit information overload for me. And bizarrely, the numbers dropped by about 10. Where are we going now? So you've been doing well, mate, on the sea fishing. I'm on the coast now. Sea is just 5 minutes. Well, do you know what? I've actually caught some really. I've actually caught my personal best fish sizes this year off the beach, but I've had some horrendous blank sessions as well. I got beat 2-0 last night by my friend. I missed one, he caught two. I went home with nothing. Well, he went home with nothing because he put some back, but he beat me 2-0. I can't wear them now. I was very holy and 26-year-old. 26-year-old red underwear, Lisa. Get them on the Antiques Roadshow. Get on the Antiques. Who else has lucky things they wear when detecting? Yeah, I do. I have the thing about this T-shirt. Not this T-shirt, but I have a T-shirt that I always have to wear when I go detecting, and it's quite a thick detecting T-shirt. And it gives me, I always think it gives me luck because I always used to find the best stuff when I wore it. And my unearthed hoodie. I always used to use my grey unearthed hoodie, and I always used to wear it, and I always used to find stuff wearing it. And it's funny, if I didn't wear it the next week, I never found out. There you go, work that out. Do you have any rituals you do before detecting something that brings you luck? Yeah, turn my mobile phone off. That's what I do. That's my ritual because I always get called by somebody. You can guarantee as soon as I step out in the field, the phone starts ringing. So I knock it off now. Rob's looking in the pants just down the waist. The elastic looks worn right out. Lucky Roman bronze in your wallet. Yeah, why not? You've got to do these little ritual things. Detectorists are a funny species. We like to do weird things, don't we? Everybody has weird rituals. Footballers probably have touching the grass when they go on, or whatever it is. Certainly, some footballers have to go out of the dressing room last because they think it's bringing good luck. Right, so here's one from Andrew. My landowner has a livery stable business. I've ended up with a uniform for detecting. There you go. Biz Rose come back in, 26-year-old. They're an artifact. Yeah, well, you know what? She's still got them. Lisa's still got them. So just a little bit of a recap, folks. The Detectorist magazine, changing the subject very quickly. Detectorist magazine's out this week for you all to enjoy free of charge. If you haven't subscribed to it, do so. There's several thousands of subscribers all over the world. Actually, we've got Americans and Australians and new people from New Zealand and Europe. So get on to it. It's a very, very good issue 5 of the Detectorist magazine. It's cram-packed with stories from wonderful detectorists making some fantastic finds, including one extremely special find that you don't see many of these particular finds coming to light. So when it came up, I was amazed, and you'll all enjoy it and all be able to see it by this time next week. Some managers bury coins on the goal line. There you go, David. We've got Deborah coming back, and I have to give the Thames something before I go mudlarking. There you go. Offer it back to the Thames, and it'll look after you. Absolutely. I had a friend. Here's one for you. Passed away now. Sadly passed away. One of my best friends. I got a second COVID job this morning. Went metal detecting this afternoon. Just arrived from detecting in case I had second effects tomorrow. Yeah, you do right. We're talking about what weird things that people do. Here's one. I used to go detecting with the guy who set me up detecting actually and taught me the ropes. Sean, who's passed away, was my best friend. He passed away 2019, and you often hear me talking about him. And I did a special YouTube video on a few years ago on which was sort of dedicated to him. But he used to not shave for about 3 days before he went detecting. So he used to have a stubbly. I mean, he could grow a beard in sort of much quicker than I could, but he used to have sort of 3 days growth, and he used to say it makes him look medieval. If you go detecting, he used to say to me, you've got to look as medieval as possible, and you'll find the stuff. And guess what? He found the stuff. So it worked for him. Always remember them words ringing in my ears when I was a teenager growing up. You've got to look as medieval as possible, he used to say. And he was 4 or 5 years older than me and 10 times taller. He was a big, solid rook of a man. When they first showed me them red knickers, I thought they were cloth for cleaning a spade. They're proper old. I pray to St. Anthony for good luck. He's a patron saint of all things lost. Yes, very good. Do it. Absolutely. Listen, if people think you're a crank, who cares? If you do it and it works for you, do it. I do all sorts of weird things, but I ain't going to tell you. Not on this, not on air, live on air. I'm not. Good evening from Pendle area. Just arrived. No notifications. Malcolm. There you go. Don't know why. If you have to press the subscribe button, Malcolm, which you probably already have, and press the little bell on YouTube, and you'll get notification. If you don't, I haven't a clue. Anything TV coming up with Henry Colgrave? Awesome guy, Henry. He is. He's a terrific man. I'm hoping so. Yes, I'm hoping so. And of course, when it comes out, we'll all do the stuff, and we'll all, we'll go through, difficult times of the difficult thing of filming live on telly about, whilst we're detecting and things. And it's a difficult job. It's a 48 hours of real concentration when you've got an ITV film crew, production crew, filming your detecting like we had last time. And then, of course, it goes out and the jealous detectorists out there start slating it, or the archetypes or the historians or whoever they are, the anti-detecting brigade gets triggered. But you know what? 99% of all detectorists and people loved it. So there you go. The trolls don't pay our wages, mate. So at the end of the day, if you get some negative comments, who cares? The vast majority. It's funny, though, if you get 99 good comments and you get one bad one, you always remember that one bad one. But you learn to just dismiss the trolls. Done. There you go, sir. Yes. Done. Well done. So there you get notification now. Darren Ward, great stream as always. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you for watching, sir. We've still got 20 minutes left or so. Which is good. But you good night. Shark 101. Hey, enjoyed the channel, mate. What's your favourite find you have found or have seen? Oof, many different ones. I've got too many good finds. They're all pretty much up there with. I mean, I think I had my top. I had a top 10 of detecting finds, which included things like Edward III gold noble. James I gold half crown hammered, gold Horus of Vespasian, Saxon gold pendant, Bronze Age ring, gold ring money, and then I found the Stephen and Matilda penny, which was up there. That shot up there to the top, got to have been the top 3 for rarity and desirability. And then I found some really unique Saxon pennies one year. Of half a canoe. One was extremely rare and one was unique. They were up there with the top, and it just continues. So, coin wise, many different coins. And I tell you what, I did find once. I found once after many years of trying a George IV sovereign, and I love that coin. I've still got it. It's a fantastic piece of kit, fantastic coin. Well, you're going to do something wrong if you don't get the haters' best stuff. Yeah, just ignore them. Listen, the trolls don't pay our wages, Andrew. They don't. Absolutely don't. So just let them drift off. We've got to do what's right for us. And if we think doing a detecting show on ITV is a great thing for people to be entertained, so we're going to do it. We're not going to be, we're not going to be doing anything wrong. And these people that hate us and troll us, they jump at the chance to do it. So they're just never going to get the chance because they're full of hatred. I've heard you talk about your TV stardom. What was it? What's available? iPlayer. Yeah, if you look for it's on iPlayer. It should be on iPlayer, I think. If you look for Henry Cole's Great British Treasure Hunt, it's on that. That's the pilot episode from December last year. So you'll pick that up. And I also featured in the Channel 5 production of The Two Farmers Friday night on the farm with Rob and Dave, the two famous farmers. And that was really good. I enjoyed that more every time I think back. I really did enjoy it more and more. It was just a fantastic opportunity for us to do some detecting with two great people. Missed it. Another moth flew out of Melanie's purse. What is the best detector you've used, Graham? I've used many detectors over the years. My old favourite was something. I used to love me Tesoro machines, the Golden Sabre, Royal Sabre, Toltec 80, Toltec 100. And I always found stuff with them. But my favourite machine of the olden days was a toss-up between the Fisher 1266X and something called the Minelab Tribune, which was the early 90s. And then Minelab completely changed their direction away from the Tribune and went down the FBS route, which we still see around today with people using. So, I found lots of things with the 1266 from Fisher, which was a terrific machine. and I love the Tribune. I should have kept it a bit longer. I actually sold it to a guy that was desperate to get his hands on it, so I'll give in the end. So yeah, they were good machines. And then later in years, I loved my XLT from White's. That was a great machine. I found lots of nice hammered silver with that machine. And then I went over to the DFX. That was a decent machine. And then I went to the Fisher. Well, I had a brief spell with XP machines, which were okay. Gold Max Power was okay. The Deus was okay. Bit overpriced in my opinion, but you know, I found plenty of bits and pieces. And then went over to a machine called the Fisher F75. That was a good machine. Deep, noisy though, noisy but deep. And I found for a single frequency machine, it was a fantastic piece of kit, and found lots of nice things with it. And then of course my legendary G2 Plus came along. I managed to test one of them for the first time in the UK. I think I got sent over the first G2 Plus to be tested in the UK. And the first day I tested it, because I thought I'd have to test it, I started finding hammered silver left, right, and centre with it. I never could put it down after that. And everything else went. And I just stuck with the G2 Plus for 7 years. And I found loads of things with it. Now I'm on the Equinox 800, which I find a terrific machine. But I'll never get rid of the G2 Plus. Never, ever get rid of it. So let's have a look here where we are. Looking forward for a series to be commissioned. Really enjoyed the pilot. Thanks, Chris. I'm glad you did. Many people did. I mean, many people did. You need to go back with Robert and Dave. They're brilliant characters. I'll come up and help. It's only around the corner. Yeah, no, Barnsley. It was filmed in Barnsley. It was on Channel 5 with Helen Skelton and Jules. And I can never remember Jules' second name, so I do apologise to him. Hudson. Jules Hudson, and it was great. We had to go back and film some more for that one, but it was just a good experience being on. And do you know what? When they're filming you don't because you're concentrating on detecting and things, and you're talking, you don't realize the cameras are actually on you. The weird thing is when you watch yourself on TV, because A, you don't like the way you look, and B, you hate the way you sound. And it took me a bit of time to get used to me, because they don't show you a pilot, or they give me a brief look at a pilot actually on a mobile phone, how it would go. But you see it as I see it on television, as you see it on television. And it's a little bit surreal. It's a bit weird. You know, it's a bit odd. And you get a bit apprehensive. I can remember sitting there waiting for the 9 o'clock, clock to strike 9 o'clock when it came on Channel 5. And my palms and my hands were sweating. And I was thinking, oh, God, I'm on telly in a minute. And we had to wait for the last 15 minutes of that particular show, the farm show, for us to come on. But it was good. Really enjoyed it. Do you know what? What an experience. Us Yorkshire folk are the best. Some of the best. Absolutely are. Absolutely. I look fat on screen, maybe something to do with the fact that I am. Listen, if you're happy the way you are, Jason, you paid for it, mate. Who cares? Who cares? When we get to a certain age, we put on a bit of beef. I always used to say, if you put on a bit of beef, you're not going to blow over in the wind. So there you go. Gold Max Power is my spare machine, T2 Plus, but I do like the screen. Yes. Too many buttons on the Gold Max Power for my liking. And it loved Cork and Hot Rocks. But it also found me some Saxon Skeets as well. So it was a decent machine. But just a Cork magnet. High Tones, Metal Detecting UK. Evening. Hi, sir. How are you? Lovely to have you on. Up to 50 people again. Click the like button if you can. Or do it on Facebook if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, just click the like button. Very kind of you to do that, because it just boosts it up a bit on the viewing arena or whatever it is. Detecting Kevin knows the crack anyway. He tells me more about it than I am. Suffolk Hunter says the same. You're not alone, Dark Knight. Well, we all put a bit of... The thing is, in the winter, you put a bit of beef on because you don't do as much, do we? I used to go night fishing 3 nights a week in the winter. Didn't care about the weather. And you're always active. You're digging bait, or you're out detecting in the weekends. And then through the week, you come home from work and you go out night fishing for cod, and you're always on the go. And you're as thin as a butcher's dog, and you're as fit as a butcher's dog, and whatever the word is. And then all of a sudden, middle age hits you, and you start enjoying your food more, and you have a few beers, and you say, "I can't be arsed going night fishing tonight because all I catch is little whiting." So you don't end up going night fishing, and you end up over the years accumulating a few pounds. But it all comes to us all, mate. There you go, laughing faces from the Dark Night Detectorist. And if any of you are watching, the Dark Night Detectorist is the latest addition to the Team Unearthed group of individuals. Give him a subscribe. You'll find him on YouTube. And he does everything pretty much by the book, does the lad. He enjoys his detecting and keeps it real. What isn't there to like about it? Den Baker, has anyone deposited a hoard? I buried one and found treasure. Maybe coincidence. Has anyone deposited? Now, give me, I don't know what you mean by that, Den. Has anyone deposited a hoard? Why would we're not medieval people? No, there's no reason for us to do it. So whether that's a trick question, we're up to 10 to 9, folks. Still a bit of time to go. We've had ghost stories tonight. We've had the Detectorist magazine that's coming out this week. We've had individuals running rallies and saying it's virgin land when it's not virgin land. It's been absolutely decimated. And of course, we've had fines going missing from the fines liaison officer. We've had it all mixed in tonight, and it's what it is. It's the debate. Miss Sea Fishing, I live 20 minutes from the coast. Yeah, no, it's if I can't, detecting is my first love, but if I can't detect, I pretty much fish, and fishing comes a damn sight and a close second to detecting at times, I tell you. Where we at? Yeah, Gormax Power was also useless on the beach, from my experience. Not good with your caravan near Blackpool. No, they're not a beach machine, to be fair. The Gormax Power, I never used mine on the beach. It's just because of the salt in the sand, it becomes highly mineralized. Single frequency detectors and high frequency single frequency detectors become pretty unstable on the wet sand. So you're not really going to be able to get a good experience using something like that on the sand. However, you know, the multi-frequency lines of detectors can do a pretty good job. We've got quite a few people coming in, actually, folks, which is good news. I think we've got over 35 watching on YouTube alone, and about 12 or 13 on Facebook. Well, let me just go back. We've got people coming in now. Comments are slowing down, folks. I guess people are getting a little bit bored. Does anyone magnet fish? I've won, but not sure permission reels, so I haven't ventured out yet. I've done a little bit in our local river, Lisa, but I have to say it wasn't for me. I found a lot of junk. And I did find part of a bike frame that came up at the deepest part. And I always remember somebody using a magnet, one of our customers. He rang up to buy a magnet because we used to sell these cheap and cheerful things, which we got rid of in the end. But he bought another one about a week after he bought his first one, because when he threw it in, he let go of the rope at the same time. So the lot launched right across into the canal. So he lost his magnet and rope in one go. Is there any truth in the term bank, as in sloped area, being called that because there was hoards were buried, hence the word bank used to where we store money? Some of the early magazines, Andrew, that were published based on detecting in the 70s and the 80s ran that story a few times, so it came from somewhere. It definitely came to somewhere. I still worry where this glorious hobby of ours will be in 10 years' time. Do you know what? I often worry about the hobby, and I actually worry sometimes. I've got to be careful in my position as Unearthed, the owner of Unearthed, not to bring myself into disrepute. So I've got to be careful what I say and don't upset people, because I've always said right from the beginning, and I try to be as truthful as I possibly can. Everybody has the right to detect. It shouldn't be boxed off to the elite, or elitism shouldn't kick in. So these detectorists that have been out doing it since the 70s, 80s, 90s think that they've got the God-given right to detect, and anybody new coming into the hobby is frowned upon, and you know, the numbers should pretty much stay for the old school detectorists. They're allowed, but you know, there's too many new ones coming in. But in reality, everybody's got the right to enjoy the hobby and experience what we all experience, which is a wonderful pastime and a wonderful innocent hobby that we enjoy. So everybody should be allowed to experience that. However, my opinion on that has changed slightly recently, and the reason is there seems to be a lot of scroats coming into the hobby that are only coming into the hobby for one reason, and I think that's wrong. So you know, some of these, there's some rough and ready, some rough and ready individuals coming into the hobby. And I think that's wrong. They're coming into the hobby for the wrong reason. That's my opinion. I deal with these people every day, remember. So we're always dealing with detectorists every day of the week. So my opinions change slightly, but I think I still go, you know, I still have the rule of thumb to say that everybody should be able to be allowed to enjoy the hobby and experience the hobby as long as they do it in the correct manner. And Mark Brown comes in. We were all new once, absolutely were. We were all new once. I'm dying to be able to travel back home to see family and friends and take the machine and visit local beaches. I can imagine Portugal being full of gold rings just lying there waiting to be found, Victor. As long as you'll know better than me, but I'm sure you'll get permission to detect the beaches out there. So we've got the Dark Knight. I think the elitist detectorists that don't like newbies are actually worried that they'll find what they think they're entitled to because they've been doing it longer. Yeah, no, that's right. You know, I mean, you know, what we've experienced, the detectorists, for the last 40 years, I've been doing it since I was a kid. And, you know, I've had some wonderful times, you know, out in the fields, in the fresh air, seeing some fantastic countryside, meeting some wonderful people. And you know, and finding some really nice coins and artifacts along the way, saving them from destruction, as I always say. And everybody should have the chance to be able to do that. But there is an element coming into the hobby that are coming into the hobby for the wrong reason, and I think it's wrong. Gary Hayes. Hi, Graham. Hi, Gary. Hope you're well, sir. I hope you're enjoying the stream. I turned 50 next year. Only just started detecting because I wanted to do it for years. How many people have I heard this last few years saying that they've wanted to do it for years, and then all of a sudden they've bit the bullet and they've gone for it, and they've never looked back. And then they say, I wish I started earlier. Do hammers ever come up on beaches? They do, sir. Yes, they do. There's some beaches in Wales that have produced a hoarder hammered once came up on a beach in Wales, and I've seen hammered coins coming off the northwest beaches here. I've heard of many hammers coming off beaches on certain parts of beaches in East Anglia. I've heard hammered coins coming up off the beaches on the east coast. So yes, they do, absolutely do. I've only ever found one hammered on the beach, and that was a Warren Elizabeth, but I found more Roman coins on the beaches, actually. Lots of houses being built around here over the last couple of years. I've asked permission to detect before they start and got refused. Wonder what nice bits of history have been lost there. Absolutely. The problem is health and safety, Darren. When you ask permission for the to detect on these sites that are being developed, development sites, then the site officer has a responsibility for health and safety, so you're probably not going to get on. I heard, not hard, that license may be returned for metal detecting. Do you think that's any truth in rumours? I think, Gary, there'll be some people trying to change certain things, but you know what we've got to do is make sure people understand that people detect for many different reasons, and the reasons are it's a hobby and pastime, and it should be left alone to be a hobby and pastime. If there's anybody doing anything wrong, then we all need to be looking at that closely, but don't legislate and start restricting what is predominantly a fantastic hobby pastime that people get a lot of goodness from, not only their mental health and well-being, but the fresh air and everything else that comes with it. So, you know, a lot of people rely on the hobby for their mental health. You take that away from them, you're in a world of hurt, and you'll get a hell of a backlash from people like me. We've got a lot. My biggest gripe with the hobby is some of the Facebook groups. The amount of times I've seen someone post fines for some smart aleck to comment hedge fund. Yeah, there's some absolute bells out there, Andrew. Unfortunately, you're not going to change people's. You know what? I always take social media as being just a bit of a fantasy world at times with these people, because when you meet them face to face, they're completely different. Night or bedtime. Thanks, GML. Night, Liddy. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a good weekend, and I hope you have a good week. It does not matter who finds anything as long as the right thing's done about saving history. Just absolutely. Just we all have a love of what we find and the history behind it. And long may that continue. Night. I don't know if that's Lisa saying night with her red, whatever we're going to call them. We're going to call it red underwear? Or she may be saying night to Liddy. Because Good night, Jeff. So Jeff's gone, I think. I think I might have missed Jeff. Jeff Block, yeah. Good to see you, Jeff. You take care, mate. Andrew, I'm autistic and suffer with anxiety. Detecting is genuinely the only thing that I've found that truly relaxes me and makes me feel normal. Absolutely. How many people have I heard over these last 18 months, 2 years, say that how it helps them relax, helps with their mental health and well-being? It's just the best hobby on the planet for taking your mind off other things and concentrating on that one goal of detecting and that being out there in the fresh air. You know, it's just amazing. Lots of on Facebook buying machine with nowhere to go, then asking for permissions and getting dismayed. Yeah, no. And that's where some of these rally organisers hold the responsibility to do the right thing. And these people that can't get their own permission, then they've got a chance to detect on land where they have an opportunity to detect on land if everything's done in the correct way. One thing I love about the hobby is when you go out and you get a good find, what a bonus. Absolutely. Well, we all detect for one reason, to find things. If we didn't, then we'd turn our machines off and just walk around the field. So, you know, don't be under any illusion. We're in the finds game, but equally, it's a bonus when you find something nice because you're getting all the fresh air and exercise at the same time. I've tried different hobbies for my mental health. Detecting is the only one that's worked without guilt or regret. Absolutely, Dark Knight. And I love that. And I'm going to use that. If I remember that caption there, I'm going to use that. I love it. It's the only one that's worked without guilt or regret. Steve Wade is coming. A license is a bad idea. If I ever detect on the landowner's permission, what's the problem? Chris Linton has come back in. The research that gives me a great buzz of the objects found. Absolutely. Absolutely. Where we at? History Unearthed. I approached the developers to request detecting permission being refused before work starts. I think they're afraid of ancient discoveries holding up their plans and costing money. Yeah, well, that could be that as well. It's a good point, actually, because, you know, if you find something of historical interest and archaeological interest, then things are going to grind to a halt pretty quick. Yeah. So where we are, I have actually missed quite a few comments, and I do apologize for that. We've still got about 40 odd people watching, which is encouraging. We'll give it a little bit longer so people understand. Let me knock that off the screen. So we're back on. Thanks for your time, Graham. Really enjoyed it. Thanks, legend. Take care. All the best. Big hugs to you, Melanie. Bye-bye. Yeah, you take care, David. Good to see you, mate. You take care. And Enlightened Patriot, yes, probably right. So Darren's reply to you, sir. So let's have a recap. We've got the Detectorist magazine coming out, which you know I've kept on banging on about that all night, because it's coming up this week. So get on it, folks. If you haven't signed up for it, get on it. It's free of charge. You're getting a fantastic magazine free of charge, and we put a lot of time, effort, hundreds of hours going to that, producing that magazine. So do it. Do it. Steve Knight, good night all, from the Night Rider himself, Bin Laden. Bin Laden. Is it Bin Laden or Bin Laden? One of the two. And then we've got the situation of just being vigilant, folks, about people coming into the hobby and coming into the hobby as detectorists, and within a matter of months or years or a short period of time, starting to set up rallies and things, putting people on land that's been absolutely blitzed. Because the only people that are going to get it in the neck, right, are the people that organise it. And usually are going to pay money for weekenders and such like, only to find out that these fields have been blitzed, blitzed by club and country. Team Unearthed keeping it real. Absolutely, sir. The best team on the planet. Night Grey Mel, hope you're getting stronger day by day. Yeah, she's doing well, mate. Yeah, she's having a pretty tired situation at the moment, but she'll be fine. Can't wait for the mag. I'm in it again. You are, sir. I was doing some work on that magazine today, and it looks pretty damn good. Darren, it looks pretty damn good. Thanks for another great Sunday Night Live. Catch you next week. Okay, Andrew, you take care, mate. Bye for now. Just to give you an update as well before I do disappear, we've got some new, I think I mentioned it last week to the people that are on here, actually. We've got some new accessories and products that came in earlier through the week. If you look on the Unearthed website when you get a chance, you'll see the new Unearthed baseball caps for the summer. 3 different colours, red, I think red, grey and navy blue. They seem to be selling like hotcakes because we keep getting asked for unearthed baseball caps. So we've got them in stock now. And this weekend, for some reason, people have been buying them left, right, and centre. I'm hoping they'll give them good luck when they're wearing them out detecting, but ideal for this sun. So have a look on the website if you want one of them unearthed caps, the baseball caps, 3 different choices to choose from. And also the unearthed detecting t-shirts came today, and they're on the website, and there's 4 different sizes to choose from, folks. So if you want a decent detecting t-shirt with the unearthed logo on, medium, large, extra large, and extra large, all in stock now. Get in for them, cheap as chips, and really good quality. I'm not going to mention about that yet, Darren, because they're still in the production line, but we've got some new interesting, well, actually, we've got some new interesting bits and pieces coming out later this week as well. So look out for them, interesting bits and pieces coming soon, including some interesting mugs. Thanks for another great see you next week, Steve. Yeah, you take care, Steve. Good to see you. And they're great caps too. Yeah, they are. They're good. They're really good. They're really well made. That's the thing. We don't like buying them cheap things that only last a couple. I mean, I know I shouldn't probably say this, but there is caps out there from other outlets that are pretty crap. But these are proper made, proper job. Ideal for detecting. So have a look on the website. If anybody wants one, they can get one. Not a problem. First time watching for me. Won't be the last. I enjoyed that. Thanks very much. Do you know what? That's very kind of you. Stinky Longy, UK Longy. Great name. And I think you're looking at your profile image. Borussia Mönchengladbach. Is that right? German football team. Brilliant. I like that. I like that profile picture. So yeah, have a look on there, and then of course we've got we've even got in the ghost story tonight, which is good, and I knew Andrew would remind me, because I was hoping he would forget that, because it's always difficult to tell a story when you've been relayed a story years ago, and you've got to remember it word from word. But that's about the best I can do. So we've got Chris Linton, Great Life Feed, night all, night Chris, good information about your hoard. I was actually fishing, Chris, up by where you used to live, up by the South End Lighthouse last night, not too far away. Fantastic place is Walney Island for beaches and fishing, where I was brought up as a kid. And who knows, might even end up back on there one year. Who knows? Where we've got lots and lots of comments coming up. Thanks for the night. Thanks for this. Thanks for that. Right, folks, I'm going to knock it on the head, because I said, let me just see that. Yeah, we got Bass. Where we at? We got back Great Life Feed. We got that. Did you land any bass? We got my mate caught a bass, and then he got a dogfish. I missed one. Do you know what? I've been missing more fish this year, and it's down to me. More than anything, I'm not striking quick enough. I don't think I'm letting them bite too long. So we've got lots of people saying later good night. I'm going to say good night now to wrap up, because I'm tired out from this weekend's fishing and everything else, and sheep farming or whatever else, what other idiotic things we get involved in. But we'll see you next week. Melanie will be back on Sunday Night Live. She'll be starting the live feed, and then unfortunately I'll come in behind after 10 minutes of quarter of an hour. So we'll see you all next week, folks. Have a great week. Bye for now.